Something is different at Heartland this morning. Something quiet, small, and life-changing. Amy Fleming wakes before sunrise with a feeling she can't explain. And by the time the sun touches the barn roof, her whole world is about to shift. She doesn't know it yet. But today will bring the biggest surprise of her life, and a storm she never saw coming. The sky over Heartland is soft and pale, the kind of early morning light that seems to hold its breath. Amy steps out of the house, pulling her sweater close as the cool air brushes her face. The ranch is quiet, almost too quiet, as if it already knows something she hasn't spoken yet. She walks toward the barn, her boots crunching softly on the gravel. She doesn't feel sick or tired. She just feels different, off balance, like something inside her has shifted overnight. Inside the barn, Spartan lifts his head the moment she enters. Amy runs her hand down his neck, grounding herself in the comfort she's known since she was a teenager. But even this familiar warmth can't settle the nervous flutter in her chest. She tries to focus on the simple things, the smell of hay, the soft shuffling of horses, the slow rhythm of their breathing, but her mind keeps drifting. Back to the strange feeling tugging at her since she opened her eyes. Back in the house, Ty is making breakfast for Lindy. The smell of eggs fills the kitchen, and Lindy hums as she colors at the table. Everything feels normal, steady, peaceful. But when Amy walks in, Ty pauses. He sees something in her face, something he can't quite place. "You okay?" he asks, soft but careful. Amy wants to say yes. She wants to shrug it off like it's nothing. But the truth presses heavy in her throat. She reaches into her pocket, fingers trembling just enough for Ty to notice. She doesn't pull anything out, yet she's not ready. Instead, she takes a slow breath and looks around the room. Her family is right here, watching her with warm, trusting eyes. And suddenly, the weight of the moment grows even deeper. Her heart races, her mind spinning with what this day might mean. Amy turns away, pretending to check the time, pretending she isn't holding a secret so powerful it makes her hands shake. She steps back outside with an excuse about getting fresh air. The cool wind hits her again, but this time it doesn't calm her. It sharpens everything. She takes the small test from her pocket. The result is clear, simple, life-changing, and in that instant, Amy's whole world tilts quietly, but completely as she whispers the truth. Only she can hear for now. She's pregnant. Amy stands alone near the fence line, the morning sun slowly rising behind her. The prairie stretches wide and golden, but her world feels small, narrowed down to the thin plastic test in her shaking hand. She closes her eyes, letting the truth settle into her chest like a quiet thunder. She isn't scared, not exactly, but the weight of the moment presses against her ribs, deep and real. This isn't just another change. This is life reshaping itself. She hears the front door open behind her. Ty steps out, brushing flour from his hands after making breakfast with Lindy. He doesn't call her name. He doesn't joke or tease. He just watches her for a moment, sensing something is wrong, or maybe something is about to be right. When he finally walks to her side, he doesn't speak. He simply stands close enough that she can feel his warmth in the cool morning breeze. Amy breathes in, slow and shaky. She knows Ty. He won't push her. He won't demand answers. He'll wait until she's ready, no matter how long it takes. And that patience, that steady, quiet love, is what finally gives her the courage to lift her hand. She turns toward him and holds out the test. She doesn't say a word. She doesn't need to. Ty's eyes drop to it, and everything in him goes still. The birds keep singing, the wind keeps moving through the tall grass, but Ty freezes like time has wrapped its hands around him. His mouth parts as if he wants to ask a question, but no words come. All he can do is stare at the tiny piece of plastic that just rewrote their lives. Amy watches his face, searching for fear or doubt or hesitation, but she finds none. Instead, Ty lets out a breath that sounds like it carries the whole last decade of their love, their losses, their victories. His eyes shined, not dramatic, but soft, warm, overwhelmed in a way he can't hide. Then he laughs, a quiet, disbelieving laugh that breaks into a smile. He steps toward Amy, taking her hand like he's afraid she might vanish if he holds it too tightly. "We're having another baby?" he whispers, his voice cracking in the gentlest way. Amy nods, and the tension melts from her shoulders. "Yeah," she breathes. "We are." Ty pulls her into his arms, the hug slow and deep. It's not a moment of fireworks, it's something better. Something real. Something earned. The kind of moment that grows roots behind them. The ranch wakes up. Horses whinny in the distance. A car door slams somewhere near the gate. Life moves on, unaware of the miracle unfolding right here in the quiet morning light. But Amy and Ty stay still, holding each other, holding this new beginning, holding the promise of a future that just expanded in the space of a heartbeat. The sun climbs higher over the ranch, warming the dew on the grass, but Amy and Ty are still wrapped in the glow of their shared moment. The world feels lighter now, steadier, like the ranch itself is holding its breath for them. But as the warmth settles in, Amy feels another tug in her chest. There's someone else who needs to know. Someone who has stood beside their family through every joy and every heartbreak, Jack. They walk toward the barn together, side by side. Not in a hurry, but with a quiet purpose in their steps. The familiar scent of wood and horses drifts on the breeze. Inside, Jack is brushing one of the older horses with slow, practiced strokes. He hums under his breath, a tune Amy has heard since she was a child, steady and grounding. He doesn't see them at first, too focused on the horse, too lost in his own thoughts. Amy pauses in the doorway, watching him, feeling the weight of years between them. Jack has been everything: mentor, protector, family. Telling him makes this real in a new way, a deeper way. Her heart beats faster, but Ty gives her hand a gentle squeeze. Grounding her, Jack finally glances up, sensing someone behind him the way ranchers do. He wipes sweat from his brow with the back of his hand. "You two look like you're up to something," he grumbles playfully, though there's curiosity in his eyes. Amy opens her mouth, but the words stick. Ty steps forward first, not speaking for her, but offering support. "Jack," he says quietly, "we've got news." Jack stops brushing. The horse nudges his shoulder as if telling him to pay attention. He studies Amy's face, then Ty's, reading them the way he reads storms on the horizon. His eyes soften, but he stays silent, waiting. Amy steps closer, her voice barely above a whisper. "I'm pregnant." The barn feels suddenly still. Even the horses seem to pause, as if listening. Jack's eyes widen just a fractioning, but enough for Amy to catch. He doesn't speak right away. The silence stretches, not heavy but full, like he's gathering every memory. Every moment that led them to this one. Then Jack exhales, slow and long. A smile pulls at his lips, not big, but real, warm, and filled with something deeper than excitement. "Well," he says in his gravelly voice, "I'll be damned." He steps forward and places a hand on Amy's shoulder, his touch steady and full of pride. "You kids sure like keeping me on my toes?" Amy laughs through tears she didn't know she was holding. Ty grins, relief spilling across his face, but then Jack's expression shifts, soft, thoughtful, a little emotional. "Your family just keeps growing," he says quietly, "and I'm grateful to be here to see it." Amy leans into him, hugging him tightly. Jack hugs her back, rough hands gentle, heart full. Ty joins them, and for a moment, the three of them stand together, wrapped in something that feels larger than the barn, larger than the ranch, something like legacy, love, and the kind of family you choose and grow. Outside, the horses call out again, as if reminding them that life keeps moving. But in this moment, everything feels exactly right. The day moves on with a gentle rhythm. But underneath the peace, there's a hum, quiet, uneasy. The kind of feeling that creeps in when life seems a little too perfect. Amy and Ty walk back toward the house after their moment with Jack. Hands brushing, minds still wrapped in the glow of new beginnings. They don't notice the shift in the air yet. They don't feel the coming change. But it's already on its way. Inside the kitchen, Lou stands frozen in front of the counter, her phone gripped tightly in her hand. Her coffee sits untouched, turning cold. Her face is pale, her jaw tense. She's staring at the screen like it just delivered a blow she wasn't prepared to take. The moment Amy and Ty step inside, Lou's eyes flick up, and they see it fear, sharp and sudden, the kind that steals the warmth from a room. Ty's instincts kick in first. "Lou, what happened?" Lou doesn't answer immediately. She presses the lock button on her phone like she wants to erase whatever she just saw, but the shock stays in her eyes. She takes a breath, steadying herself. "You guys, you need to see this." Amy steps closer, worry pushing aside the glow of her earlier joy. Lou unlocks her phone and turns the screen toward them. A news alert flashes across it, bold and cold. Nathan Pryce released from custody conditions, sealed by CIOURT. The words hit like a punch to the chest. Amy's mind races. She remembers everything, every threat, every harsh word, every shadow Nathan Pryce cast over their lives last season. She thought that chapter was over, buried. But now it's back. It's rising like a storm cloud on the horizon. Ty clenches his jaw. His eyes go dark in that quiet, focused way they do when he's protecting the people he loves. "Someone had to push for this," he mutters. There's no way he walked out on technicalities. Amy wraps her arms around herself, feeling the earlier warmth slipping away. What does he want now? The question hangs in the air, unanswered and unsettling. Lou shakes her head. The article doesn't say. No interviews, no quotes, just, he's out. The weight of it sinks into all of them. Nathan Pryce isn't just a name. He's a threat wrapped in charm and manipulation. He's unfinished business, and he's free. Then Jack steps into the doorway, his face stern, his eyes hard. He must have heard enough to understand. "Well," he says quietly, "looks like trouble found its way back." Amy meets his gaze, worry flickering through her. Jack gives her a look she's known her whole life, steady, protective, unshakable. But even Jack's confidence can't erase the truth settling deep in her bones. Her family is growing, and danger is growing with it. The peace of the morning is gone now, replaced by a tension that coils around the ranch like a tightening rope. Heartland has weathered storms before, but this one feels different. Personal, close, and it's only the beginning. The air in the Heartland kitchen feels heavier than it has in months. The kind of heaviness that doesn't come from bad weather or long days, it comes from fear. Sneaking in through a screen and settling in the room, Lou sets her phone down on the table, as if placing it gently could soften the blow of the news. But nothing softens the name Nathan Pryce. Jack pulls out a chair, his movements slow, thoughtful. He sits like he's preparing for a conversation he doesn't want to have, but knows he must. Amy and Ty join him, their earlier joy buried under a layer of cold worry. Lou remains standing, pacing a small line behind the counter, trying to wear down the panic knotting in her shoulders. Tim bursts through the front door without knocking. Of course he does. He always knows when something is wrong. It's like trouble sends him a personal invitation. "What's going on?" he demands, scanning their faces. Lou doesn't speak, she simply holds up the phone again. Tim steps closer, reading the headline. His reaction is instant and sharp. "You've got to be kidding me." His voice is loud, angry, filling every empty corner of the house. Amy flinches, not because she's scared of Tim, but because the situation already feels unstable, and his anger shakes the thin balance they're trying to hold on to. Jack raises a calm hand. "Sit down, Tim." But Tim doesn't sit. He paces the length of the room like a caged animal. They let him out? After everything? After what he put this family through? There's no way this is clean. Ty leans forward, elbows on the table, hands clasped tight. He's not loud, but his silence speaks louder than Tim's shouting. His mind is working, turning over possibilities, threats, plans. He isn't the man who panics. He's the man who protects. Amy sits beside him, feeling the weight of two truths pressing against each other. The new life growing inside her, and the danger growing outside their control. Jack finally speaks, voice low but firm. "We can't lose our heads. Not now." Whatever's coming, we face it the way this family always has together. Lou nods, though her hands tremble slightly. We need to be careful. Watch for anything strange. And maybe reach out to the police. Her voice shakes, but she pushes through it. Lou has always been the planner, the fixer, the one who holds the family upright even when her knees are shaking. Tim stops pacing, turning to Amy with a rare softness. You okay? It isn't his usual bar. It's quieter, almost protective. Amy forces a small nod, but she knows she's not okay. Not really. Not with a baby on the way and uncertainty clouding the horizon. She reaches for Ty's hand under the table, his fingers closing around hers in an instant. Ty's voice breaks the silence. Whatever he wants, we'll handle it. We've done it before. Jack rises from his chair, setting both hands firmly on the table. Listen, Pryce may be out, but that doesn't mean he's coming here. And it sure as hell doesn't mean he gets to scare this family. He looks at each of them in turn, his gaze steady, grounding. We stay alert. We stay smart, but we don't panic. For a moment, no one speaks. They're a circle of fear and strength, worry and loyalty. Heartland has endured fires, storms, heartbreak. The family has been tested again and again, but this time feels different. This time, something is coming closer, faster, sharper. Ty slides his chair back slowly, standing tall, protective. Amy stands with him, leaning into his side. Lou stops pacing. Tim finally sits. Jack's jaw sets like stone. The family is united, ready even if they don't know what they're facing yet. Far from Heartland, the city feels colder than usual. A thin fog settles around the courthouse steps as Nathan Pryce walks out, dressed in the same suit he wore the day he went in. It hangs differently on him now, looser, sharper around the edges. It's like he's been carved down to something leaner and more dangerous. Reporters cluster behind a barricade, shouting questions, flashing cameras. Hoping for a scandalous soundbite, Nathan doesn't give them a single word. He just keeps walking. A guard hands him a small plastic bag at his belongings. A wallet, a watch, a folded piece of paper he wrote months earlier. Nathan slips the items into his pockets, then heads toward the street with slow, steady steps, every movement controlled. He carries no relief, no gratitude for freedom. Only purpose? A black car idles by the curb. Tinted windows, no plates. The rear door opens before he reaches it. Nathan doesn't hesitate. He slips inside, shutting the door softly behind him. The noise of reporters fades instantly. Inside the car, the air feels different still. Heavy, expensive. Someone else sits in the shadows, their face hidden, only the faint outline of a figure visible. Nathan doesn't look at them. They don't look at him. He simply speaks into the quiet, his voice low and measured. Tell me everything that happened while I was gone. The figure shifts, handing him a manila envelope. You need to see this. Things have changed. Nathan opens the envelope. Photographs slide into his lap. Heartland. The ranch. The people. Jack, Lou, Tim, Ty, Amy. He studies each one with unsettling calm, his eyes lingering on Amy a second longer than the rest. She's still at the center of all this, the figure says. Everything comes back to her. Nathan closes the envelope and sets it aside, expression unreadable. And the others. They're watching for you. They think you're a threat. A slow, eerie smile curves across his face. Good. The car begins to move, merging into traffic, disappearing into the fog. Nathan pulls out an old flip phone, not a modern smartphone. Nothing trackable and dials a number from memory. It rings once. A voice answers. You're out. Nathan rests his head back against the seat, eyes cold and calculating. Not for long, he says. I have unfinished business. He ends the call and slips the phone into his pocket. The city blurs past the window, but in Nathan's mind, he isn't in Calgary anymore. He's somewhere else, in a long stretch of dirt road leading straight to Heartland. He taps the envelope with one finger. Thoughtful, almost calm. They think they're prepared for me, he murmurs. They're not. The car slows to a stop at a traffic light. A bus rumbles past. Its advertisement is a scenic shot of Alberta ranch country. Nathan's eyes follow it, unblinking. He leans forward and speaks to the driver. Take me to the place we talked about. The driver nods without a word as the car pulls away again. A thin line of sunlight breaks through the fog, cutting across Nathan's face. But it doesn't warm him. Nothing does. Not anymore. Heartland doesn't know it yet. But the storm has already begun to move. Evening settles over Heartland with a slow, soft glow. The sky turns shades of orange and pink, painting the ranch in warm colors that almost hide the tension running through the family. Amy and Ty finish feeding the horses together, trying to pretend everything still feels normal. But normal vanished the moment Nathan Pryce walked free. Amy brushes Spartan one last time before heading back toward the house. Each step feels heavier than the last. She keeps touching her stomach without thinking. A quiet instinct. A promise she hasn't spoken aloud yet. Ty notices but doesn't mention it. He just walks beside her, close enough that their shoulders touch now and then. A silent vow that he's not going anywhere. Inside the house, the lights are dim, casting long shadows across the hallway. Lindy is already asleep, curled up with her favorite stuffed horse. Lou sits at the kitchen table with paperwork spread out, though she's barely reading any of it. Jack stands near the window, arms crossed, staring out at the darkening yard, as if expecting trouble to walk right up the driveway. But for a brief moment, everything is quiet. Too quiet? A sharp knock breaks the silence. Everyone freezes. Ty and Jack exchange a look, alert, tense. Tim steps out of the back hallway, drawn by the sound. Lou slowly rises from her chair. Amy's heart thuds hard enough to make her breath catch. Another knock, short, firm, impatient.